it's a principle, be, do, have, right? I feel like I'm already in the be. The do, I'm in between be and do, so then I can have.
It's a lot of doing, and because you're doing so much, that's who you're being. You getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because you feel like it's a lot to do.
Or am I getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure I do the things for me and for the people that I service?
You're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's a lot of things to do.
Okay.
Are you still tired when you get up in the morning?
Yes.
Exactly. So how can you actually be if you're tired? A scale of 1 to 5 in the area of health, mental and emotional, partner and love, family, friends, mission, experiences, spirit, finances, and then lastly, learning, scale of 1 to 5. Some of y'all like, man, you do all this on Friday? 30 minutes, maximum of an hour. If I gotta like pull data and stuff like that, that's probably the longest part. But the other parts is like.
How long did it take you to get to that point?
To what point?
To only 30 minutes.
But I ain't sharing nothing you can't do. You just arguing for the limitation.
I don't know if I'm even really arguing, and I think it's more so.
You're arguing now. Go ahead.
Am I arguing now? I'm still arguing now? You ready? Get it out, sis. Get it out.
Get it out.
Say what you got.
Because I want you to leave it here.
Right.
Go ahead and get it out. I want you to leave it here.
Get it out.
Go ahead and get it out. My calendar needs to be piled. I'm talking about smothered. No white space in place. Not a white mark. But now I love margin on my calendar. Mm-hmm. I love a space on the calendar where to do absolutely what?
Nothing.
That's the word God gave me for this year, spaciousness.
Spacious.
In all areas.
All areas. Margin is healthy. Go walk.
Is your margin there because you're no longer trading time for money, or is it because your mindset changed?
The latter. Because when the latter happens, you don't trade time for money.
Correct.
Because when I'm creating an asset, whether that's a video or an ad or whatever, I'm not trading time for money. I'm building an asset, and this asset is gonna pay me for years. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? So it's like I shift from working to make money to working to create systems and assets. And when I shift to work to create systems and assets, that creates money. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm.
It does, but let's rewind back to, because I know you said you had a mindset shift. Mm-hmm. So let's rewind back to where, let's say, bills weren't on auto pay and things like that. So you knew you had to do this on Monday for this to happen on Tuesday. What did that look like at that moment of your life?
It looked toxic.
Okay.
That's why when you know better, you what?
You do better. Okay.
I've done it that way, so you all don't have to.
Okay.
It was a decision. It could have been a decision for me then, but that was the only way I know to do it. Wasn't nobody showing me that there was a better way to do it.
Gotcha.
Wasn't nobody telling me I could design it the way I want to design, like how I'm sharing. Wasn't nobody telling me about forecast.
Because it sounds like to me, what you just said about scheduling your whole, like everything,
Yep.
That's definitely something that I need to do, because I let my business run my schedule and I schedule around that, as opposed to scheduling every hour of the day.
Yep.
So that sounds like the place to start. But initially, as I'm sitting back and taking in everything, there are people who are further in their business, like who have teams and stuff like that, whereas I'm at the level of essentially trying to build a team, right, to where it's not all on me. And so I feel like some of the things that you're mentioning, in a sense, they're like further down the road than what I need to focus on right this moment.
Like what?
So
Give me an example.
Like for instance, the whole way that you just went down with your whole schedule, right? So obviously Forecast Fridays and like ideation and all that is, all of these things are things I can implement right now, right?
What did I share that you can't implement right now?
I mean, you're right. Everything I can implement right now. I guess my biggest thing.
What did I share that somebody just started and can't implement right now?
I guess the biggest thing for me, and I would say it's sometimes the margin, but I think it's mindset. So just to go back to what you said, just because, I mean, we all can, in a sense, can be short of time if we're trying to build something, right?
Nobody's short of time.
And nobody's short of
24 hours.
time. Okay, you're right.
Nobody's short of time. It's how you prioritize the time.
I mean, I personally don't feel like I have any time outside of working in my business or on my business or on my craft outside of that, right?
You know why?
Because I didn't prioritize it.
Because that's what you've decided.
That's what I've decided. Okay.
You've decided not to have any time outside of working on your craft and working on your business based on some beliefs that you have. That's what you've decided. I used to be that way too. I used to tell myself that I'm building this for my family.
Yeah,
I'm doing this for the family. The family don't want it though.
that's real.
As an entrepreneur, we be like, I'm building this so I can hand it down to my kids. Your kids don't want it. Your kids see how hard you grind for it. Your kids see us sacrifice everything. Why would they want the same thing? But we'll lie to ourselves. It's the entrepreneurial lie. The money lie is, I'll be someone different when I have more money.
Oh my God.
That's the money lie. I'll behave different when I have more money. No, you won't. You just be more of who you are. You just have more money.
Got you.
So now the only thing is, sometimes we'll argue for the beliefs that we'll argue for the limitations we want to keep.
That's right.
So the thing is, we only argue for the limitations we want to keep. Because I just went back through it, like what did I list out? Because your subconscious is like, well, no, I can't do that. I ain't at that point yet. That's the argument. But it's like, what on here can't you not do?
I guess I'm coming from the standpoint of.
And here's, let me just say this as well. Also, nowhere in any of the modules, nowhere have I said or will say that you should design your weeks like this.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't say that.
I would actually like to. I know this is just free game you're giving us right now, like off your phone, right?
Yeah.
Or is this in our members services?
All that.
Oh, all that's in our members.
And this ain't free game. Y'all paid this. Y'all paid for this. But here.
Oh, hands down. I'm
Here's what
fully aware of that.
Here's what I'm saying though. It don't matter if I give you the template if your belief is that you can't do it.
Right.
If your core belief is that you can't do it, it don't matter if I give you the template. You ain't gonna do it because this is your belief. I'm not there yet. The person you want to become, you already are. You got to decide to be. You can structure your weeks like this if you want to, or you don't have to. You can structure how whatever makes sense for you. Before I made 6 figures, I made a decision. I was working 7 days a week, 8 to faint. I went into a new year. I told Dre, I was like, bro, going into this year, I'm gonna work less and make more. Hadn't even made 6 figures yet. I was like, I'm gonna work Monday through Thursday. That's it. I'm gonna have a 3-day weekend every week. I did it. Guess what? Guess what happened that year? Surpassed 6 figures. And every year continue to grow over and over and over again because I did what? I decided. And I created constraints. I couldn't work outside of I said Monday through Thursday. I created these constraints. Time expands. Well, stuff feels the time that you give it to feel. If you give something this amount of time to do, it's gonna take you that amount of time to do it. If you set an alarm and you can only, that's the principle. It's a law. It's Parkinson's law. If you say, I'm only giving this thing an hour to do, you'll get it done in an hour. Hey, real quick, I know we're going deep right now. However, if you're watching this and you're a business owner, you want to take your business to the next level, you want to scale your business and have a business that can run without you, without running you in the ground, and you want to generate more leads, more clients, or you want to put the systems in place so your business can run like a well-oiled machine, make sure you check in the description section of this video. We got a ton of free resources for you. Go ahead and get those right now. Stop right now. Go ahead and get those resources, and let's get right back into the show. Some of us have traveled. Some of us was like going out of town. I know you're heavy on travel. Some of us, when we're about to go out of town the next day, that day before, how many of y'all, that's your most productive day ever? Because you're like, when I leave, I'm not only am I not gonna be able to think about it, I don't wanna think about it, you're not gonna be able to do it. So you're like, I gotta get this done now. So that shows you that you can actually collapse time. When COVID happened, when kids were like getting all their work done by noon, that showed us how inefficient the school system is.
Right.
Like kids don't really got to go to school to 3 o'clock because they're getting all this stuff done at 11:30, 12 o'clock. But it's like, it depends on like our view of, and we can design it how we want. A lot of times as entrepreneurs, we design our life around our business instead of designing our business around our life.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it does.
My first priority from a human standpoint is my wife and my kids. So if something business-wise got to be moved, it got to be moved. Am I saying everybody got to do that? Am I saying their spouse and their kids got to be their number one priority? No. My first thing I wake up in the morning is my relationship with God. Seek thee first the kingdom of God. First thing. Thank you, God. Today is a gift. First thing. Before my wife, before anything. Does that make sense? And then I focus on pouring into me. So it's God, me, then my wife, kids. Some people say it's God, their spouse, then their kid, then it's them. Whatever. I ain't saying that's right or wrong. For me, it's God, me, my wife, my kids. Because I can't do nothing for my wife and my kids if I ain't pouring into me.
That's right.
Am I saying that's how you got to do it? No. Have I always been like that? Back to your question. No. Because I ain't know no better. But when you know better, you what? You do better.
Should.
When I got up to $50,000 a month, I was still living out of my bank account. my business account.
bank account. Mm-hmm.
Had no clue what I was doing. Nobody had taught me, here's how you grow a business. Nobody had told me you have outgrown this structure. How you do banking and your entity structure. Mm-hmm. Nobody told me. But now that I learned the lesson, now I can share that. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But I ain't sharing nothing you can't do. You just arguing for the limitation.
I don't know if I'm even really arguing, and I think it's more so.
She arguing now. Go ahead.
Am I arguing now? I'm still arguing now? You ready?
Get it out, sis. Get it out.
Get it out.
Say what you
Because I
got.
want you to leave it here.
Right.
Go ahead and get it out. I want you to leave it here.
Get it out.
Go ahead and get it out.
I mean,
I ain't
I
really
guess
arguing,
I'm not
but-
really pent up, you know what I'm saying? But I guess, going back to what the young lady in front of me said, I guess it's just limiting beliefs that you told yourself for so long. Like, to your point, I've said that verbatim. I'm doing this for my family. I'm the only one that's up here doing it. Or my schedule doesn't look like someone else's. Or, man, when I have a team, I don't feel driven by money like God provides. You understand? I take my time to rest, to serve on Sundays, which is also, in a sense,
Good.
a job. And then, when you think about running a business and then being in school and then servicing clients, to me, even though there's no shortage on time, to wake up at 5, still be short 4 hours of sleep and get climbing in the bed at 11, to me, seems like a shortage of time, even though that's not the case. And so, I guess you it's a principle, be, do, have, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm already in the be, the do, I'm in between be and do. So then I can have.
It's a lot of being. I apologize. It's a lot of doing. And because you're doing so much, that's who you're being. So you getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because you feel like it's a lot to do.
Or am I getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to make sure I do the things for me and for the people that I
Do.
service? Do. Okay.
So that's exactly what I just said.
Okay.
You're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's a lot of things to do.
Okay.
But are you still tired when you get up in the morning?
Yes.
Exactly. So how can you actually be if you're tired? You can't lead a team tired. Because now these team members, guess what? They're bringing all their stuff to you. These clients you're working with, they're bringing that stuff to you. If you're tired, you're probably going to be snappy. You're going to be exhausted. Sometimes we eat unhealthy because we're tired, and now your body is trying to find fuel. Mm-hmm. So now you're snacking and binge eating all throughout the day. Not saying you, but this is kind of how our body,
for sure.
This is how our makeup is, right? Because we're trying to stay awake. We're drinking coffee. We're drinking 5-hour energies. We're doing all the things, sugar, all the things to stay awake. And here's how I know. I used to get up at 3:45. Because I heard somebody say, you got to get up at 3 if you're serious. You don't want them enough. If you ain't up at 3, you don't want it enough.
That was the time.
Right? And I tried it. And I was like, dang, I'm exhausted. I'm doing my morning routine, falling asleep.
Right.
I ain't no good to nobody.
And then judging it.
And then judging it. So I was like, let me do 3:45, 4 o'clock. And I'm like, I get up at 3:45. Doing. Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, but I would get up at 3:45 because I'm getting affirmed because I get up so early. Then I was like, let me do 5. Now I'm like, no, let me actually sleep.
That part.
Right? Because when I wake up, I'm recharged. Mm-hmm. And now I can actually do less.
Right.
Better.
Yeah.
More efficiently because I'm rested. I'm clear. I'm showing up better as a leader. Mm-hmm. Like if we ain't getting no rest, the last time you need a team.
That's right.
Because now you're going to have a team full of people who ain't getting no rest. Mm-hmm. And then they start beefing with each other. Because you bring all that energy to the team.
Yeah.
That's good.
Does that make sense? So you got to sleep. And again, you've chosen to do that. You've chosen to get up at 5 and go to bed at 11 and be 4 hours deficient. Because at some point, your body going to sit you down anyway if you don't make it rest. But all this is a decision. But I know in entrepreneurial hustle culture, it tells us these are the things we're supposed to be doing.
For sure.
But that's not, it's not healthy. And I'm not saying nobody's right or wrong, but it's like, who am I being? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Wholeheartedly. I think what it boils down to is, to your point, there's been layers and layers and layers stacked on of belief about entrepreneurship. Yeah. So even when you do personal development, read the books. Like I puffed up my chest that I had read 4 of the books that you listed out of the 12 of the module because I'm already on the road.
Yep.
But to your point, you're debunking a lot of things that you've been believing for so long, you know.
100%.
And another point, I mean, it seems like we're all believers in here. You know, God is going to always provide. And when you're
God's
working,
already provided.
but like period, right? When you don't even realize that you're operating in a lack of faith when you are
Yep.
overworking and things like that, which is the reason why I took away working on Sundays and things like that.
Yep.
But you just don't realize that there's so many levels to the stripping away to finally getting to your true authentic self, to just wake up, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep, and know that there's going to be perpetual increase, you know?
Because society wants us to be self-reliant, not relying on God. Right? So it's going to tell us to continue to grind, continue to grind, continue to grind, continue to grind. So 100% spot on. So good. And again, I used to be the same way. Man, I'm reading a book a week. I'm reading 52 books this year. Doing because I want to be affirmed, because I want to say I've read all these books.
I feel seen.
I feel seen. I'm validated based on all the books I read.
Yeah.
So much so I'm listening to them at 2 times the speed. Listening to everything at 2 times the speed. Trying to speed read. I took a college course to speed read just so I can consume as much. But like, Marco, you don't lack information, right? But I'm trying to be seen. I'm trying to be validated. Oh, bro, you read all them? I read all them too.
But your life don't reflect the book.
You get what I'm saying? So
Because
it's
there's
like
no implementation.
it don't. So it's, none of that matters. It's like, but we do that stuff as entrepreneurs because we're trying to be validated. And a lot of times we go into entrepreneurship as a trauma response because we're trying to be seen, because we're trying to this. We never felt seen growing up. We never felt validated. We grew up in poverty, or what we saw as poverty. We never want to go back to that. We want to give our kids everything that we didn't have. Right? We want to, you know, in school I ain't really had somebody. A guy, I see it online all the time. You can always tell the brothers who couldn't really get no girls growing up. Because it's like how they got some money now and how they treat women. Because now they're trying to get back for how girls did them growing up. It's like, bro, this ain't the cure. You got to do some real work. Does it make sense? So, and you got like, dang, they must have used lanes in school. Because you can just tell how they behave and how they treat people because they got money now. But like, dang, like these are clients, like how you treat them like that? Because they were like lames growing up and they want to get some get back. So now they feel like they got status over people and how they treat people. But they came into entrepreneurship to like, it's like, nah, bro, we gotta do like some real work. So I totally, and listen, this, for those who've been rocking me for a minute, this ain't always been my message.
Right.
Oh no.
Carmen, no. Kev, no. This ain't always been my message. My message has been massive action. Get it in. Forget how you feel. You know what I mean? Like with my kids, my older kids, like, forget how you feel, get it done. But in therapy, I learned it actually does matter how they feel. How they feel is very important. Marquel, how you feel is very important. I be like, it don't matter how I feel, I just get it done. It don't matter how sleepy I am, I just get up and get it done. Because that was my wiring, that was my trauma response. So this ain't always about my message. But what I see is, Marquel, it's your responsibility if you go out and help people make a lot of money, but they're absent parents.
Come on.
They're absent spouses. They make a lot of money, but their marriage breaks down because they're always working. Like, bro, you got a part of that. Yeah, they're breaking it down, but they're not there at the kids' games. And the kids want to be at the game. They don't care about how much they make this month. The kids just want to look up in the stands and see their father. Like when I growing up, my mom didn't come to none of the games. She was getting it. She didn't come to none of the games. She went to none of the games. I used to get a ride home with my partners. She was getting it. Was she wrong? No, that was the way she knew to do it. But now we can't talk about building wealth without building a family. And it's like, if we got a lot of entrepreneurs who are making a lot of money and are grinding, but the family's on the back burner, are we really winning? Ain't no professional success going to replace private success at home. Inky Johnson said this years ago, and I was like, man, he's like, a lot of people are public successes, but private failures. Because like, yeah, you got the money, yeah, the internet say you dope, yeah, this, but it's like, what your kids say about you? That makes sense? Last thing I'm gonna say on this, and I'm gonna finish up the forecast Friday. I was talking to a client the other day, and she was like, you are the first person who's ever told me and shown me that I can have both. I can have success and business and personal life. She was like, I've always had money. She was like, I never had money and time at the same time. She said, when I had time, I ain't had money. When I had money, I ain't had time. And she was like, one time I told my son, she had accomplished something big. She feeling herself. She like, ain't it cool that your mom accomplished this? And guess what he said? No, it ain't cool. You always working. What's cool about it? Reality check. Does that make sense? So am I saying you wrong? No. I'm just sharing. Here's what I learned in the University of Hard Knocks. I got a PhD. right? And I'm just sharing what I learned. Does that make sense? And people will receive it at different times. Because I know it's people in here. I'm glad you brought this up, though, because there's other individuals in here that's resisting this whole conversation as well. So you just asked the question for a lot of other people as well, and people who are watching.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Is that helpful? So welcome home. I'm glad you're here. So now we can. And then a year from now, you're going to be like, you're not even going to recognize yourself. You're not even going to recognize your business.
Hallelujah.
That's what you follow through. Everybody in here, you come in, you follow the process, you trust yourself, you trust the process, you ain't gonna recognize yourself a year from now, or your business. You be like, this is incredible. That I can assure you. Does that make sense? And we're gonna fight back and forth with you. When you give us some pushback, we cool with that. Give us pushback. Because we want you to get it out so you can leave it there. Thank you. Of course. All right, now I'm almost done with this. Strategic insight. We good?
No, we good.
Strategic insight. What's the one move that matters most right now? The what?
One.
The only move for me that mattered this week was fly in with y'all. I did some other stuff, but the biggest thing, fly in. You're probably like, whoa, Marquel, slow down. If you're enjoying the show so far, you may be wondering, how do you actually become a guest? Now, this isn't a platform where anybody can just get on. You gotta be in a specific area of your business where we can really do a solid deep dive. If you wanna be a guest on an upcoming episode, all you gotta do is go to strategicscaleguest.com. strategicscaleguest.com. There is an application process, so go over there, answer a couple simple questions, watch the quick video that I have there, answer a couple questions, and if you meet the criteria, our team will reach out to you and we'll get it scheduled and we can figure out if you're gonna come to our office where we do a deep dive or we come to your office. So go ahead, strategicscaleguest.com. Let's get back into the show. Number 2, strategic insight. What's the constraint I must solve before we scale further? What's the constraint I must solve before we scale further? Right? Number 3, what would break if we doubled next month? These are just good thinking exercise questions. If you were to double next month, what would break? Huh? Is this making sense? If you were to double next month, because sometimes we're like, man, I just want to double grow. I want to grow, double. Well, if you double next month, what would break?
And lack mentality.
Are y'all following me? What do we need to adjust? So that's strategic insight. We together so far? The almost last part, because after I do this, I do a learning review, which I'm explaining in a second. So next week's focus was 1 to 3 key projects or campaigns that I'm focused on next week. Number 2, time blocks confirmed. What are the time blocks that's confirmed? So I'm looking at my calendar, reviewing my calendar, auditing my calendar. Time is our most valuable asset. It's way more valuable than money, right? So if we look at the calendar, what's allocated? What needs to be adjusted? Any meetings need to be changed. Does that make sense? And also, my wife is a nurse now, so she works, when she's on, she does 3 days, she does 12 hours, right? So I also got to work around her schedule as well, and I got to optimize around that, and then our help, right? And then when the kids are in school, I got to optimize around that as well. They're not in school right now, so I got to optimize around those things. So I'm like looking at all those things and consider. So she got to send me her calendar, and I got to make these adjustments. That make sense? Number 3, CEO time reserved for high leverage work. What's on the calendar that's reserved for high leverage work?
We supposed to.
Number 4, spiritual alignment check. Am I building what God told me to build? Because like, here's the thing, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I like to build. I like to grow. So it's like all this is going against my wiring, this different way of being. Does this make sense? So hopefully I'm not presenting this to you all like it's easy to me. It's a whole rebuilding of muscle. So like, it's still, that desire to like do more still comes up. So I'm not saying I'm healed of it, like it don't come up. No, it still comes up. But then I gotta like,
Got tools to refocus.
I'm actually good, I'm safe. I'm good. Does that make sense? So am I building what God wants me to build? We went through a season where we got addicted to growth, and I'll take personal responsibility. We're chasing arbitrary targets, getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, all right, we're not building what God told us to build. When we started, it was intimate events. We got to the point where we're doing 400 person plus events. This ain't what God told us to do. We're just doing it because it's what we're supposed to do, quote unquote. It looks good. Lights, camera, action, $200,000 event budgets. Cool, but it's like, do we really want to do this? Is this really what God wants us to do? Because it's like in this intimacy, you can't hide. We're going to make sure everybody, you can't come in here and sit in here all day and leave and don't say nothing. And don't make sure you're good. At a 400 person event, you can. And you come and you leave not served. And you leave just the same way you came. But in an intimate event, you can't. That's why we capped our boot camps that we do, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It's capped, 50 or less. Because now you can't hide. We know everybody's name. When y'all come in, we know y'all name. We got to the point we started having events, so I was Dre. I was like, Dre, who was that? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, that's such and such. And they got to the point where Dre was like, I don't know. Does it make sense? So it's like, all right, we got to do better. Got to the point where the team was like, we need to get y'all security at the event. I'm like, we're not getting security. We're not gonna do that. So next week's focus, am I building what God wants me to build? So this is a realignment. Make sense? Last part, learning review. 3 great things that happened to me last week were, what were 3 great things that happened to me last week?
And this is different from the wins.
It could be the wins. It could be the same thing again. But this also forces you to think of 3 more things. But you could, in fact, use the same 3. So I'll give you an example. A couple weeks ago, last week, my oldest son texted me and his tire had blew out. But his tires was at his grandma's house. So he called and asked, what's our tire person name to come fix the tire? And then he was like, I remember you showing me how to do it when I was little, so I think I know how to do it. And I was like, you definitely know how to do it, but if you want the guy to come, cool. So we gave him the number, he called the guy was out of town. A little while later, he texted me back and was like, everything good. And I was like, did he come? He was like, no, he out of town. He was like, but I remembered what you showed me when I was little.
Wow.
So win. So that's something great that happened to me. Does that make sense? Like, ain't no financial win was gonna beat that.
Right.
No amount of clients or enrollments was gonna trump that. No new nothing was gonna trump that. Because that shows presence. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? And those were the hardest times where I really used to be hard on myself about being a dad, because that was my first son, and I really wanted to get this thing right. But I ain't really had nothing to measure against. And then even measuring it against something ain't even true, because it's all false. Does that make sense? The second one is, what's the main struggle I faced this past week? The main struggle I faced this past week was, sometimes it might be I overate on my calories. That might be an example. What's the main struggle? And then the next part is, if I were advising or mentoring someone dealing with the same struggles I'd advise them to. So if I was advising somebody who was dealing with this same struggle that I just had, I'd advise them to. Does that make sense? Y'all follow me? Yep. So I advise myself. I'm not saying I advise myself. I'm saying in this moment, this is a thinking exercise. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. 2 things I learned about myself this week include, these will take you there. 2 things I learned about myself this week include, guess what, y'all? When you're doing this, social media is off, laptop closed. Like these are focused thinking time. You're gonna really learn a lot about yourself, because a lot of times we aren't willing to sit with our own thoughts. Mm-hmm. That's why we always gotta be listening to something. Mm-hmm. We always gotta be doing something. We always gotta be busy, because we don't want to sit with our own thoughts. Mm-hmm. We saw a lot of that. We saw what happened with COVID, because people actually had to really sit with themselves.
Right.
That's true.
Or you be sitting there by yourself and you're in there, be like, check Instagram. Like, no, I'm just sitting with my thoughts. This brother right here is one of the few people I know who will just ride in his car with nothing on.
Same.
Just with his thoughts.
Yeah.
That can be a scary place for some people. Right? Just your thoughts, nothing else. And it's funny, but it's crazy that it's funny. And if we really sit and be like, dang, how often do I actually just sit with my thoughts? Not even thinking, just sitting with your thoughts and just seeing. But a lot of times we want to be so busy, so we don't got to sit with it.
When you say not even thinking, but sitting with your thoughts, like, what do you mean by that?
A thought and thinking is 2 different things.
Correct.
So thinking happens when we get a thought and we start to ruminate on it.
Okay.
So I just finished this book. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. Mm-hmm. And he says, all suffering comes from thinking. Mm-hmm. It's not the thought that's the issue, it's the ruminating on the thought. So like if a thought pops up and you know that thought isn't yours, why are we ruminate on it?
Yeah. Scripture says take it captive.
Take it captive. My boy Kel, the visual he gave, he was like, when a notification pop up on my phone, and I know the notification ain't for me, what do?
Swipe.
So when a thought comes up and you know that thought ain't for you, what should we do?
Swipe.
Oh, that ain't my thought. I'm tripping. Marco, you tripping, bro.
Yeah.
You know that ain't true. That ain't what the word said. You tripping.
Right.
Does that mean we swipe? When you get up, y'all be getting them text messages, and it's like, hey. He's like, who is this? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all be getting them real texts. You just hit report jump.
Right.
Literally.
So it's like when those thoughts come up,
Report jump. Report spam. Yeah.
so it's like a thought, and then it's the thinking where the suffering can happen. That's what you gotta do. You gotta swipe them. You gotta move them to spam and delete spam.
Yep.
You gotta move them to trash and delete trash.
That's what, and that's where overwhelm happen.
Yeah, that's where overwhelm happen.
Because the storage get built up, and then we ain't got enough capacity. We ain't got enough space.
And it's just like your laptop. Your laptop will run out of space because you're storing stuff that shouldn't even be there no more.
Yeah. Delete it.
Empty
Delete.
Empty it.
That ain't mine. Because these thoughts just come in from all over the place. So the suffering happens. So you're like, dang, I ain't hit my goal this month. That was the thought. You begin to ruminate on the thought and begin to beat yourself up on the fact that you didn't hit the goal. Right? You're like, okay, I ain't hit the goal this month. Cool, it's always next month. And you move on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this stuff is powerful, y'all.
It is.
I hope y'all are getting this. This is the real work. The tactical stuff, we know the tactical stuff. We know to create content. We know to send out an email. Like, we know to, launch the ads. We know that stuff. It's the inner game stuff that's the separator. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
And we don't take the time to think. So my calendar got a block that says thinking time. What do you mean thinking time? Well, you sit down with a thinking prompt. What don't I see right now? What am I missing? What am I holding on to that I should let go?
And also that's the space God speaks.
Bingo. All right, I'm almost done, I promise. Top 3 to 5 most valuable, Ashley got me down this path, y'all, so y'all blame Ashley. Top 3 to 5 most valuable activities for the week. The previous week. What are the top 3 to 5 most valuable activities for the week? 2 things I learned about others. And guess what? Guess what's going to be big when you do rocks? You're going to start to see what rocks are rocks this week that are rocks this week that were rocks last week, but I just avoided doing them. That make sense?
Rocks keep showing up.
Because sometimes we just like to do the stuff that's fun and feel good, but it's like it may be some hard conversations it's time for you to have.
Come on.
You're like, I'm supposed to fire that person, but I didn't want to have a tough conversation. Now you continue to pay them. You continue to, that's called managerial debt. When you're growing the company and scaling the company and you're keeping people there who are not supposed to be there. It's managerial debt. And you pay the interest on it.
You sure do.
Because now it becomes toxic in the culture. And now gossip begins to happen. It's like a cancer.
Then you gotta reset.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Because like somebody asked me, bro, how would you fire your top salesperson? It's like because it became a cancer. Not he was a cancer, but just the energy, what was going on was a cancer. And it'll eat the business alive. If I'm thinking about you as a team member in a negative way, I'm going to bed. It's like, it's not good.
You gotta go.
If I'm thinking about anybody else other than my wife and kids, I'm going to bed. It's like, this is not good. This ain't healthy. I'm just being real, right?
I hear you.
This ain't healthy.
I hear you.
Unless you drop my spirit, I'm like, hey, Kev, you all right? I feel like,
Yeah, that's different. Right.
you know what I'm saying? 2 things I learned. All right, so boom, 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 boom. All right, I skipped it already. 2 things I learned about others. What are 2 things I learned about others? Partner, loved ones, friends, team, customers, etc. What are 2 things I learned about others this week? Does that make sense? One decision that I could have made last week to make my life better. Let me show you the shift here. This question used to be, one decision that I could have made last week to make my life better or move ahead faster would have been. It used to have and move ahead faster. One week I was doing this and I read that question and was like, why do I want to move my life ahead faster? Because we all know where it ends.
Right. 175.
It ends. You feel me? Why do I want to rush
To get there.
to get to the grave? Like, why do I want to move ahead faster? And that's when the shift began. So now is one decision I could have made last week to make my life better. Does that make sense?
Yep.
What worked really well this week and why? So Gandhi has this quote. I posted it the other day. It's powerful. So Gandhi has this quote where he says, I got to pull it up actually. I'm still trying to memorize it. Gandhi said, there is more to life than increasing its speed. That's so simple, but so powerful. Y'all was waiting on this. Something else, Wayne.
No.
There is more to life than increasing its speed. Somebody get that later. So now I ain't worried about moving ahead faster. What worked really well this week and why? What worked really well this week and why? The next one is a few of my favorite quotes from books or articles I studied this week. What are a few quotes or books or articles I studied this week? List what I accomplished. Wins from last week. What are the wins from last week? What big projects or dream outcomes did I move forward this week? And what do I want to move forward this coming week? We good so far?
You said what big what?
What big projects or dream outcomes did I move forward this week?
Wow.
These are insightful, right? Mm-hmm. And what do I want to move forward this week? I said this one earlier, so this is a duplicate. What assets did I create? Sometimes our clients will feel better about launching ads when they realize this is an asset I'm creating. They'll feel better about launching a money content video when you realize this is an asset I'm creating.
That fits well.
Huh?
That feels right.
It's different. You ain't just doing this as a task. You're building an asset. No different than somebody building a house, a piece of real estate. That's an asset, right? Mm-hmm. This email sequence you're writing, it's an asset. The funnel you're building, it's an asset. All right? Now we in the learn lessons, what should I do differently? So this is what we're reviewing. How was my life last week? Like for real, like how was your life last week? Most people you ask them, how you doing? What we're gonna say?
Good.
Good. Like, how are you really?
Right.
Like, how are you really doing? But sometimes you ask people, sometimes you be like out and you be like, how you doing? And they like really going to like, so you gotta be, it's like,
You gotta be ready for the answer.
She's waiting for somebody to say.
That part.
But how are you really doing? Here's a big one, y'all. A lot of times we don't ask this. How happy was I and why? One of the questions in the end of their report that Ashley is resisting doing is where was I proud of myself today? It's a powerful question.
It's a.
So one of the things I learned, even with my kids, and I learned this, is like, I pulled back on telling my kids, I'm proud of you.
Why?
Because that programs desiring affirmation.
And it creates your standard.
And it creates what?
It creates your standard of proud,
Yeah.
where they may be proud in a different way.
100%. So the other day, a couple weeks ago, I told MJ, I was like, I'm proud of you, man. So we just randomly. And he was like, why? I'm like, nothing, I'm just proud of you because it's who you are. But now I'll say, man, you should be proud of yourself. It's a slight tweak, right?
Yeah.
But you see the difference? You should be proud of yourself. Now, my therapist told me the other day, he was like, another tweak to this is, hey man, I really admire when you did X, Y, Z. It must have been challenging to go through all that despite X, Y, Z. And then they'll go into, and I did it like the same day. And he was like, well, no, I really wasn't. It was boom, boom, boom. I just did X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. We can't kill off boxing. And I was like, bro, I really admire how you like been leaning in on working towards this, match. It must be challenging to like go in there, do all the things, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, well, no, it's not really. I just did blah, 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 blah. What are they doing? Huh?
Affirming themselves.
Not minimizing it.
Affirming themselves.
Affirming themselves.
Slight
Ain't that powerful?
Slight
It's a
tweak.
slight shift.
Yeah.
It's a slight shift. But so now when you begin to affirm yourself, you don't need what?
Others.
It's turn up from affirmation. You don't even need my affirmation. I'm your dad, yeah, but you don't need my affirmation.
Nice to have, but
It's nice to have, but it's a bonus on telling you. I'm telling you what you already know about you.
yep.
It's like, man, it's like, man, them shoes clean. Be like, yeah, I know, man. I had to have them.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing wrong with that, but some people will be like, oh, he confident. I mean, he arrogant. It's like, no, bro. I'm saying, yeah, I know.
Right.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
That part.
Me agreeing with you makes me arrogant.
Yeah.
It's just receiving the compliment.
Program.
Or how many times you get a compliment and then you automatically feel the need to compliment the person back instead of just saying thank you.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about? Well, sometimes I be like, nah, man, you. I see you getting all that money. Nah, man, that's you.
No, that's
Right? Or I see such and such. Man, nah, that's you, man. I ain't doing that. That's you.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that dress. Nah, it's all right. I just got it off Fashion Nova, but automatically. Oh, no, that one you got on. I've been wanting that one. Oh, that Louis Vuitton. Oh, you know, this is a little one. No, I really want the big one. We hear all the time, right? This is what we do. It's the stuff we don't even realize.
Yeah.
It's just subconscious.
Right.
You don't even feel good to be complimented because you're not used to being complimented.
Yep.
Ain't that crazy?
We gotta work on our receiving. We got to.
All right. What was my life last week? How happy was I? Some of y'all just the forecast Friday. This is all you came for. Just these questions. This is all you came for.
Yeah.
Like, can I get a PDF?
I got you.
Okay.
We got 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes? Perfect. Did I take care of myself and the important people around me? Did I take care of myself first and foremost? First and foremost, how many of us know we can't take care of other people if we don't take care of ourselves? We can't serve clients at the highest level if we don't serve ourselves. Does that make sense? We can't serve our families, our wives, our husbands, our kids, our moms, we got to put ourselves first. But people will say that's selfish. There's nothing wrong with being selfish. Some people are just sacrificial. Like even Jesus, like there's a scripture where Jesus had just did the whole thing. And the disciples was like, hey, bro, they want to holler at you over here. I remember that. And he was like, I got to go pray. Like straight up. He was like, I got to go pray.
Yeah.
I need to go get to myself. I need to go refuel. I need to go get some sleep.
Recharge.
I need to go recharge. I need to go out by myself. Let them take it however they want to take it. That ain't my work to do. How other people respond ain't our work to do.
He was a hot man.
Because you can be the nicest person ever and people still gonna take it however they want to take it.
Yep.
It's like, bro, I gotta go pray though. I need to go get some sleep. I need to go. Jesus was sacrificial. I mean, he was in the end game, but at the end, but between that, he was. Make sense? All right. Anything I need to change. So, did I take care of myself and the important people around me, and anything I need to change going forward? Anything I need to change going forward? Last 3 things. It's 2 sections. So I rate myself a scale of 1 to 5 in the area of health, mental and emotional. So when I say health, right, I'm talking about like physical health, right? Then there's mental, emotional. I rate myself 1 to 5, partner and love. Sometimes we'll rate ourselves high, but how many of us have spouses and we ask our spouse to score us? Or you ask your kids to score you? Some of that you might be surprised. You think you killing it.
Do you give them a do you give them the question list or like when they scale it off?
No, I just say how am I as a father to you? On a scale of 1 to 10. How would you score me on a scale of 1 to 10? Another way my therapist gave me to flip it is like, hey, if I wasn't your dad, how would you score me as a dad?
That's good.
And I asked my wife, like, how am I on the scale? How am I to you on a scale of 1 to 10? And if it's a 10, what can I do to get it to 10?
Text message.
And you open, this ain't no text.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like you gotta ask. So now you can actually sit with it.
Talk to them.
Because you need to sit with that uncomfortableness. And I'm the type of person, I'm an internal processor. So me communicating this and talking through this, like talking through stuff ain't really my thing. My wife is a talker. I'm an internal processor. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
All right, I'm almost done. Like legit. The third one is partner in love. I just said that, scale of 1 to 5. And now when I'm doing this, by the way, y'all, I'm doing like what I think it is based on my career criteria, right? Because I don't necessarily, I'm asking about my score, but I'm careful to need affirmation as a husband though. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because typically your spouse can only judge you based on their view of what it should look like, which is oftentimes based on the false view. And that's something I had to learn as in therapy. Crazy.
That's solid.
Not saying what they believe, their opinion don't matter though. Number 4 is family. Scale of 1 to 10, a scale of 1 to 5, I apologize. How do I show up as a family today? From a family standpoint. The next one is friends. Scale of 1 to 5. How do I show up? How do I score as it relates to friends? Mission. Scale of 1 to 5. How do I show up as it relates to moving the mission forward? Experiences. Scale of 1 to 5. Spirit. Scale of 1 to 5. Finances. Scale of 1 to 5. And then lastly, learning. Scale of 1 to 5. Some of y'all like, man, you do all this on Friday? 30 minutes.
That's it.
Maximum an hour. If I gotta like pull data and stuff like that, so sometimes a lot of the data I've been having to pull manually. So again, that was a friction point constraint. So Bianca, my operation director, she's working on like how I could just have all the data in one place. So now I don't gotta like dig in multiple places to get the data. But that's probably the longest part. But the other parts is like you knock through. But some of the data stuff is like it takes a little bit longer if it's like in different places.
Good question. So for like your KPIs, are they like how do you see them? Are they like just like on a spreadsheet?
Yep,
or
on the spreadsheet, Google spreadsheet. Yep. Mm-hmm. Johnny, you was about to say something, bro?
I was just like, how long did it take you to get to that point?
To what point?
To only 30 minutes.
That's all. So that's all it ever took. 30. Let's call it an hour. Let's say 30 minutes to an hour, right? But it's one of the most valuable hours of your week, hands down. Make sense? So we'll call it 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So the last 2 things is any reflections or thoughts for next week.
Yeah.
Any reflections or thoughts for next week? We good? We good?
No, you good. Go ahead.
I'm good?
Yeah.
All right. Any reflections or thoughts for next week? And the last one, what am I studying this week? What am I studying this week? Listen, y'all, I used to be the guy when somebody I respect mentioned a book. I may be in the middle of a book, but I go grab that thing and jump right into it. Totally forget about the book I'm reading. When I say forget about it, but I'm like, if this person said it, and I'm the type of person, if I'm reading something or I'm studying something by somebody I respect, and they mention their mentor or something like that, or they mention an old school person, it's like, when it came to direct response marketing, I found myself way back in the 1800s studying direct response marketing. Like I was way down the rabbit hole. But like that's just how I was wired because I was creating identity based on the level of information I consumed. So that was rooted in my identity. How much can I consume? How much do I know? How much? And so that was, my identity was in that. The more I knew. Does that make sense? So now I plan my study. What am I studying this week? And then I only do 15-minute blocks. So I do a 15-minute block. So I'm reading it. I set a timer for 15 minutes, read 15 minutes. And then I have my kids do this thing called 3, 2, 1. So my 11-year-old is reading Shoe Dog, the story of Nike. And my 10-year-old is reading Who Moved My Cheese. And my 5-year-old, we just doing sight words. But when I had them read it, because I was like, I had them read 30 minutes, but I was like, how do I make sure they actually read it and not just let the time run out?
Right.
So I had them do a thing called 3, 2, 1. So 3 things you found interesting, 2 things you got questions on, and what's 1 thing you're going to apply into your life based on what you read in those 30 minutes. So now I can find out if you actually read it. 3, 2, 1. Does that make sense? So now when I'm reading, I'm like, okay, based on these 15 minutes of reading, what's 1 thing I could take in action in this 15 minutes? So even if I'm going through multiple books, which I usually am at a time, where it's an audio, whatever, it's like 15 minutes. I'm listening to an audio book, it's 15 minutes, I'm listening to it 15 minutes, that's it. And then I'm scheduling what I'm reading and studying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, was that helpful?
Yes.
All right. That's Forecast Friday. I feel like that was a whole hour.
That was it.
Hey, congratulations on making it to the end of the episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you definitely want to check out the next episode that we got, probably popping up on the screen right here somewhere. And also make sure you subscribe to this show. And also check in the description section. We got a ton of resources for you to actually implement a lot of the strategies and insights when we talk about building a business that can actually run without you. Go ahead and do that right now, and we'll see you in the next episode.